Today I have an incredible opportunity to go over a 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. This color is incredible, it has a naturally aspirated V10, and we'll go through all of the cool features of this car, check out the inside, and maybe even rev it up. It's amazing to think that this car is almost 10 years old. It still looks so modern. And when this car was first coming out, you had the competition from the Ferrari 458, the Porsche Turbo S, but look at this car. I think the Ferrari 458 definitely looks a little bit more dated, but the Huracan has had so many generations and has really kept being the epitome of what a supercar is. So talking about the design of this car, right away you notice the amazing color. It's called Arancio Borealis. This is a color that is iconic in Lamborghini's history, and I think one of their very best colors. Starting out in the front, you notice the design language is very different compared to a lot of other car manufacturers like Ferrari or Porsche. They tend to use a lot more flowing lines, while Lamborghini really uses aggressive, straight lines. You notice this right from the very start. Just looking at this front bumper, you're met with a ton of aggression. I love the lip right here and how you have these sort of straight lines that just differentiate the front and make it look really, really cool. Of course, you have a very sort of short nose, but the hood, this long flat panel, is broken up by these nice little design lines that I think kind of, set it a little apart and make it look really cool. Now, coming down the side of the car, of course, we start with these really cool looking LED headlights. I remember when they first came out, it reminded me of lightning coming down from the sky. Coming a little further down the side, we're met with this awesome wheel and tire combination. Now coming in close, this is actually harkening back to Lamborghini's older era. You have these really cool shapes that encompass the entire wheel and was present on their older cars. Of course, you have massive carbon ceramic brakes like you'd expect on any supercar and paint matched brake calipers. You have to remember, this car is really, really small. I think I'm 6'2", and you can see how far the car comes up on me. It's really a small car, but you're met with the same design language as you saw in the front. Everything is just straight lines, very aggressive. Everything's very straight to the point, and you don't really see that on any other car manufacturers. I remember when the Huracan first came out, they had these door handles, which I always thought were really cool. You just kind of pop your hand in, and when they lock, it's just hidden and it goes away and makes the design be super, super clean. Coming down, you have some air intakes right here that help the engine to breathe, and of course, the LP610 badge. This Lamborghini has a naturally aspirated V10 engine, and of course, that means it needs a lot of air. A really cool kind of integrated vent that I've thought the Huracans do really well is this right here. If you look inside, there's actually a vent that allows the engine to breathe. Within all of the different ducting of this car, it's actually hexagonal shapes, and that's a design language that's carried on the entire car again. You see it right here, even on the gas cap, in the front of the car, and really everywhere throughout this Huracan. The rear end of the Huracan, in my opinion, is one of the best angles of the car. It just looks so complete and really sets this car, off very differently compared to its competitors. This particular car is finished with a aftermarket wing that looks very similar to the Performante wing. It just looks so good, but the design language is carried through. Of course, you have the Lamborghini badge, and you also have a grille that carries through some of the hexagonal shapes that are present within the rest of the car. The lights I really like. If I just click the lock and unlock button, you can kind of see them there. But they're actually very similar to the front lights. And they just look super modern and really good. This particular car is finished with the Lamborghini sort of sport exhaust, which makes the V10 even louder and I think really lets this car sing. And at the bottom, you have a chunky, sort of aggressive rear diffuser that I think looks really, really cool and definitely fits this car very well. Opening up the engine bay, you're greeted with so much forged carbon fiber. This is really one of the best looking engines I've seen in a long time. But you have that beautiful Lamborghini V10. And of course, the plaque right there actually has the firing order of the cylinders. The storage space of the Huracan is not its strongest point. The trunk is pretty small, as you can see right here. You're not going to be able to fit a whole lot in here, but again, I don't think that's really the point of the car. Stepping into the Huracan, you're greeted with a lot of luxury, largely from Audi. Audi obviously took over Lamborghini around this era, and that means you get a ton of quality compared to older Lamborghinis. Right off the bat, you see this nice orange stitching that looks really, really good. You have nice Alcantara, as well as premium metal across the entire car. This door sill, I think, looks really, really good. And if you notice, it actually has the same hexagonal shape as a lot of the other design features of the car. Looking at the seats of this car, they really are a comfortable seat that looks awesome in black with colored stitching to match the exterior of the car. But it's truly just a comfortable place to be. When you're sat in the Huracan, a lot of the design features from the exterior are brought into the car. Of course, it's a small supercar, so the actual window is really, really raked, and it makes the viewpoint of where the passengers sit a little bit strange, but the quality, the materials, and the feel of the car really makes it feel like a supercar. Right here, you have the Lamborghini badge, and you have a lot of the hexagonal shapes all over the car. For example, right here, and even where the airbag is sort of a hexagon right there. You have this sort of center stack that has every single thing you need. And because this is a 2015 car, it's not all screens. It's actually physical buttons that I think do this car a lot of justice and will really help with how this car ages. Lamborghini is really a brand of passion, and that's definitely apparent right here. You could just have a start-stop engine button, but of course, Lamborghini had to make it as if you are in a fighter jet and you have this awesome little handle, which I think just adds to it and is really cool. And the whole design language is just carried really well in the center console. You have reverse, park, your manual mode, and your parking brake, which again are very similar to Audi, but just do a really good job. You also get a really cool view of the V10 right there. I think it's just awesome when you can see an amazing masterpiece of an engine directly through the cabin of the car. And the steering wheel is cool for a couple of different reasons. First off, you have these different modes right here. You have Strada, you have Sport, and you have Corsa, which you can just adjust with this button right here. And of course, you have these massive paddles, which are fixed to the column and make going through the gears super fun. Something I really like too is just the way that this piece looks right here. I think it looks so awesome and really just looks futuristic in a lot of ways. You have the orange stitch along all of the dash, and everything's just packaged really, really well, largely in thanks to Audi doing its thing with an amazing brand like Lamborghini. This car really came out with a punch, and it can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Even 10 years later, this car holds up with the rest of modern day supercars. It's an amazing car that you can have a ton of fun with, but also have the quality of a company like Audi, and definitely the looks and the beautiful looks from a company like Lamborghini. I want to thank my friend Milad a million times for the chance to film his Lamborghini Huracan. If you are interested in this specific car, it is for sale. Him and his brother are really amazing people. And if you're looking for, a super, super clean Huracan, I definitely suggest to check out the link in my description. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of this amazing car. See you later.